Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti. He'll be with you throughout the morning and afternoon, joined a little later, of course, by the one and only Pete Aiello, calling all the races this afternoon. We're starting today with a, well, it was listed as good. I don't know if they upgraded it to fast. That's the main track. Of course, the all-weather Tapeta is always fast, so we'll see how this plays out when they finally get to run. It's been beautifully sunny. We had some rain, I guess, last night over the morning, so when I got the first scratches today, it was listed as good. We'll check that out, and they'll let us know as soon as they can. And don't forget that we have a big carrier of a jackpot gross guarantee in the Rainbow Six today of $350,000. Starts in race number 4, so it's really starting to build. Tough sequence this afternoon. I'll show you my ticket a little later on, of course, in the day, and of course a couple of pick fives. Always a couple of pick fours. So Brian, my co-host, who's not here this afternoon, put a ticket together. Let's check it out. His early pick 5 ticket, $48 in a wide open first race. And boy, I could see he added that 13-1 of 1. We'll talk about that horse who got in off the also eligibles. Single in win 99 in race number 2. And he's got another single in race 3 with Ballymoon. Lots of coverage in those wide open races, the 4th and 5th race. Both are be in the Rainbow Six sequence today, and he did use the horse I like in race 4, Alyssa Joe, and in race number 5, Oriental Park looks strong to me. So big ticket, $48, a couple of singles, lots of coverage in races 1, 4, and number 5, and that's a good way to put the ticket together, and Brian does a good job with those tickets. Getting to this first race this afternoon, about 5 1/2 furlongs on the all-weather Tapeta, maiden special weight filly 2-year-olds. We had the scratcher today of the 7, 14, and 15. Note the jockey on the number 9 will be Sonny Leon. Edgar Zai's not riding. He only had a couple of mounts, I believe, today. So he is off his mounts. That's Lady Hamilton. And the reason I wanted to mention, you see I got a little further down, the number 13, 1 of 1 is getting in the also eligible list today. And looks like a major contender. Early in the wagering, 4-1 on the board. But I did go with the current 3-1 favorite on top, and that is Lady Hamilton, who's going to turn back today to 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta after making her first start, since showing speed and fading. That was in her 6th furlong special weight debut. Now it was on the dirt, it was in July, but this is leading trainer Saffie Joseph Jr. He's 23% with this type of layoff and 29% with maidens making their second start. And as I mentioned, Sonny Leon will be in the saddle today. Then the inside horse, who was actually the morning line favorite up there very early in the wagering at 10-1, Cloud Storage, is going to turn back to a sprint distance and breaking from the rail today after dueling for the early leading, fading to finish that distant 4th. But that was a 1.70-yard debut on the all-weather surface, so that's a tough way to start your campaign, going a mile 70 yards on the all-weather surface. But we have a stat on trainer Mark Cassie over the last 5 years with his 2-year-olds. They're making their second time starters in the past 5 years. He's solid. He's 26%, 31 for 119, and he's got a 183 return of investment. Edwin Gonzalez will handle that inside horse this afternoon. Then a couple other ways you can go. What about the 3 Evie Does It? It's a daughter of Cross Traffic, debuting for Armando de la Cerda with a quartet of solid workouts showing. And those workouts were on the Tapeta. I like when that happens. It sort of makes these horses look okay together. And you're getting the leading jock, Miguel Vasquez, in the saddle this afternoon. We got the lawn guy going by here. Just adds to the appeal of the racing here today. So that is the number 3. And we got to talk about that 13 that gets in the also eligible list. I don't want you to miss this one today. Trained by Dave Brady. Good second last time out against maiden special weight Trump competition. Actually had some early trouble in that race. So I don't know when the smoke clears if this horse will be favored. Got to deal with that outside post. That is a concern. So for me, you could see it 9-1-3 and the number 13. Please note that 13 gets in today. Going to go to race number 2 this afternoon, and race number 2 is 7 furlongs, and this one's going to be on the main track. It's a starter optional claimer. 3-year-old started for $20,000 or less on the optional tag of $20,000. 6 will go to the post, and I went to the inside horse in here, and that's number 1, First Rule, who's dropping to this level. First start. We're going to go back and show you this horse's last race from the top of the stretch home when he closes 5 wide. I thought it was a good performance. This horse was that that day, the number 3 First Rule. And I thought this horse, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide, closing in the stretch, and just does a good job in here. And the horse that win it, Asatico, remember that name because that's sort of the common thread in this race this afternoon. And there you see, it looks like First Rule's got it done, but the horse that got the trip on the outside is First Rule and just fights to the wire and gets nailed at the wire. But 5 wide in that race, and I think if you key off that performance for First Rule, I think you got to put this one on your ticket. The number 6, Wind 99, is wheeling back at the same $20,000 starter optional claimer level after his 2-race win streak ended when he was beaten by a neck. By who? Asatico. That's the horse that finished 3rd behind First Rule last time out. So this one, that was back in July when they hit together. But that's sort of like the common thread of this. So Win 99 signals to me this horse can run well with First Rule today. And then you got the 4 horse in here, Celestial Glaze, who's stretching out to 7 furlongs after following that open-length $20,000 maiden victory. And that was a pretty nice performance. Comes back with a late running score against 35 condition claimers, going 6.5 furlongs for trainer Dan Hertak. Sonny Leone in the saddle this afternoon. How good has Dan Hertak been going? So that horse, tough to leave off the ticket. 7-2 on the morning line. I think a horse you must use somewhere in your exotic wagering. Race number 3 this afternoon is a sprint. It's going to be 5.5 furlongs. Its maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. $12,500 is the claiming tag. And Brian, one of the singles on Brian's ticket was the 4 Ballymoon. And here's why. Drop it to the 12.5 level on the main track. Faced tougher on the Tapeta. Sort of mixed results, but it was against tougher competition for Diane Marisi. And we have a stat on Diane Marisi with maiden claiming dirt sprints over the past year. She's good. She's 3 for 9. It's a limited sampling. 33% with a nice return of investment of $3.13. So I think more importantly, it is because this horse is dropping down to a level where this one should be a major player this afternoon. What about Mudshaft, who's departing from the outside? He had a troubled start. He clipped heels with that. The second place finish at the distance, level and distance. So he's going to go to the outside today. Had that little bit of trouble last time out. Trainer Matt Williams has apprenticed Elsa Morrison. The concern, this is a 0 for 14 daughter of Mine Chef, and I think that makes the number 4 Ballymoon look all that much better because of this horse. Runs well, but just hasn't found that winner's circle yet. Then you got the number 2 Gam Gam Joanne, who's plunging to this level, failing to show much against, tougher competition before going to the sidelines in March. I mean, that was maiden special weight, state bred, maiden optional claim is $50,000 during the championship meet. And that was a good race this one came out of. Now, it was way back in March, but there was 3 next out winners in there, including Winky Winky, who came back and won a $75,000 optional claimer. The drop is going to help this horse. Just got to see this horse, and it's trained by Jennifer Young. And you got Chantal Sutherland in the saddle today. And this horse, I think, 15-1 on the morning line is going to take some money in that spot just because of the races that this one is coming out, but hasn't been seen in a while. And the workouts in the morning are nothing to write home about. So we'll see how this horse runs. But we got tries. We got supers in that race. So maybe you throw this horse underneath. So that's the first 3. We'll take a short break. And when I come back, I will have my Rainbow Six ticket.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, about 11:45 a.m. Ron Nicoletti here with you. And our fourth race is where the Rainbow Six is going to start with a $350,000 gross jackpot guarantee. It's 6 furlongs. It's maiden special weight state-bred filly 2-year-olds. We did have some scratches in this race. The 2, the number 7, who was the morning line favorite, defended. Also scratched the 10 and the 12. Please note that number 13, Major Price, a similar situation to the first race. You got to take a look at that 13 in here. Not one of the horses I did use on my Rainbow Six ticket, and you're going to see it. I did go 4 deep in here, but my top pick is Alyssa. We'll talk about this race in a minute. Alyssa Joe with the scratch it defended. Race 5, just 2 deep. I think the race goes through the 1 Oriental Park. I also use Verrazano in the Sky, easy for me to say. 3 deep in race number 6 with Sociable the 7. Number 8, Panther Island, has just been on a tear, but hasn't been seen in a while. And the inside horse, Mamba on 3, who showed this one could stalk the pace and win. So race number 7, Penambras Maker for me on top. 4, Fausto Gutierrez. Also used Infinite Diamond. 2, once again, I think the race is them a wonders to lose, but I use Gitana, they were both very game. The last time they hooked up was a couple of starts back. And then in the last race, I got my long shot near Royal Attitude, who's a full brother to $700,000 Earner Noble Drama, running for David Fawkes, who trained Noble Drama. He's really good with maidens making their second start. So we'll talk about that race. Oh, stepped it up. $57.60 because of that $350,000 gross jackpot guarantee. Getting back to this race, you know, I lost my top pick in here with Defended, and that's why I went 4 deep on my Rainbow Six ticket. But I like Alyssa Joe now that the scratch of that number 7. Going to wear blinkers today after shaking off an eventful start. Broke inward at the start last time out to finish, 4th in that race, but Defended was in. Joe Orsino's got Samuel Camacho Jr. named to handle the rematch. I think it's sort of a wide-open affair. And I used the 5, Olga, who's going to try 6 furlongs on the dirt after back-to-back third-place finishes, going 5 and 5.5 furlongs respectively on the all-weather Tapeta. Juan Alvarado. Chantal Sutherland's getting them out there. As I mentioned, Ed Gotnard riding today, so Chantal Sutherland will ride the 5, Olga. And I went to the inside horse, so I think it's intriguing. Sofia D'Amor, who's a daughter of precocious sire Gervin, debuting from Mando de la Cerda. You're getting Edgar Perez in the saddle, just wide open. And as I mentioned, maybe you go back and, if you look at that 13 horse who's getting into the race, and that's Major Price. I think this horse has a big shot in there. And I also use the 9, who's the first-time starter for Matt Williams. But Major Price has got some previous experience. And in this race, that might be the key to success. So race number 4 to kick off the Rainbow Six, pretty wide open affair. Let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. 6 1/2 furlongs. Claimers, 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. We have a scratch of the 5, I'm a Honky Tonk Girl, and the number 8, Deal Go Down. And once again, Brian put a late pick 5 ticket together, and we'll take a look at it. $36, 4 deep in here in the 5th race, which we will talk about in a moment. 3 deep in race number 6, but he did use my top pick on Sociable and did not use Panther. Oh, yes, he did use Panther Island. Race number 7, he's singling the 3, Infinite Diamond, coming from Del Mar for Patrick B. and Cone. And then in race number 8, he went 2 deep with Gitana and the 6 horse. And in race number 9, 3, 5, Dominican Nice is the morning line favorite in there, and he also used Royal Attitude on the ticket, who I have on my ticket today. So getting back to the 5th race this afternoon, 6 1/2 furlongs, Claimers, 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 2. As I mentioned, scratch the 5 and the 8. And I did go with the number 1, Oriental Park, and I'll tell you why. This one is the only 2-time winner in the field, which I like. It's been a good angle. Changing barns today, going to the Jose D'Angelo barn after the claim and stretching out the 6 1/2 furlongs after finishing 4th against Similar, going 5 1/2 furlongs last time out. So we got a stat, Jose D'Angelo, and this is just over the claiming sprints over the last few years off the claim for him. him. He's 11 for 34, 32%. 207 is a return of investment, and the past 4 years, you just know how good he's going. And he's got our leading rider, Miguel Vasquez, in the saddle today. So I thought lots to like in there. But Brian did see to go deep in race number 5. I only went too deep with Oriental Park, and the other horse I used was the 2 Venizaro in the Sky, who's going to try and bridge the gap. You get that Venizaro bridge 3/4 of a mile after coming off a really extended layup to finish second against this level of competition. That was going 5.5 furlongs. The trainer was Chris Banks, and he's got jockey Ismael Villalobos in the saddle today. So Oriental Park, Venizaro in the Sky for me, and then 4 North Caucus stepping up today to face winners after responding to a drop-down in competition with a 4-length 12-5 maiden victory on the main track. It is Mike Maker. Boy, what a campaign he had in Kentucky Downs. He's good here, too. He's 21% winning consecutive races. His barn has just been on fire, especially, all around the country. So North Caucus on the line at 4-1. Sonny Leon will be in the saddle. We'll flip the page once again, and we'll go to race number 6 this afternoon, about 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, or the optional tag of 25,000. Scratch the 2 Nonay Franklin and the 6 Tiz Romantic. And number 7 Sociable is stretching out today to 5 1/2 furlongs after returning from about a 2-month freshening. They put blinkers on, and this one proceeded to defeat $20,000 state-bred optional claimers, and was good. Got a lofty 91 buyer. If you're a buyer aficionado, that's a serious buyer figure. Safi Joseph Jr. has got Elsa Morrison going for 2 in a row, the apprentice. He's been riding her a lot, and she's doing a good job. So Unsociable coming off that monster performance. But what about Panther Island? What do you do with this horse? Making his first start since reeling off 3 consecutive victories, the last 2 sprinting on the Tapeta, and we just show you that last race. Just want to show you how good this race was when, before going on the bench. So just to remind you how good he was going on the Tapeta, you'll see him here just drawing clear and winning for fun there as the 1-2 favorite. There was nobody around, and he's just been going great guns, this horse, really. Hasn't done anything wrong yet, just comes off 3 consecutive victories, coming off the bench for Ruben Gracida. Lionel Reyes, who's just riding a great form, will be in the saddle today. Then you got the 1 horse in here, Mamba on 3, who showed, as I mentioned when I was talking about Mary Rainbow 6, that he could stalk the pace and win last time out. Not by being important here. Breaks from the rail, and he's looking to sit that trip behind what looks like a strong, really early pace scenario. And here, Carlos David's going to have Samuel Camacho Jr. going for 2 in a row. So more about this horse. I just think this horse fits a nice little trip in there, especially if Panther Island tries and make it number 4 and goes to the front end, and someone goes and look that horse right in the eye. Could set up for number 1, Mamba on 3. Race number 7 today is a 1-mile maiden special weight for 2-year-old fillies, and we had a scratch of the 2 and the 5 in here. And the horse I went with is the number 1 Penumbras Maker, who's stretching out to the mile. You look at its last race, chased the pace, and I thought it finished an improved second, going 7/8 of a mile for Fausto Gutierrez. Edgar Perez returning on this daughter of Empire Maker. And I liked that race last time out, and I think the stretch out to the mile is really going to help this horse this afternoon. Got to deal with the inside post, going that 1-turn mile. The number 3, Infinite Diamond, is back locally and trying a 1-turn mile after shipping west to finish that chase to pace 4th against special weight runners going 6.5 furlongs. That was at Del Mar. Trainer Patrick Biancone has Romero Mirage atop. This is a $120,000 daughter of B Jersey by Jersey Town. Not familiar with that breeding, and to pay $120,000 for this horse, they think this horse is something good, and shipped it from Gulfstream to Del Mar. Now coming back home, we'll see how this horse runs, stretching out to the mile today. So interesting horse to say the least. 4, Honor D Lady, is a daughter of Anaco, debuting for Safi Joseph Jr. this afternoon. And number 4, Anaco, to be ridden today, Honor D Lady, will be ridden by Lionel Reyes this afternoon. As I mentioned, Edgard not riding today. He was originally named on the horse, but not on it today. So Lionel Reyes will be in the saddle. And I think this horse can run okay. First-time starter, Safi Joseph Jr., and we'll see how this horse runs this afternoon. That is race number 7. Race number 8 is 6 furlongs, allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, or the optional tag of $25,000. No scratches, no jockey changes. And I mentioned that Demawana and Gitana. What I want to show you is their performance. Now, this is going back 2 starts back when they hooked up, and it was just a good performance. Near see the 3 is Gitana, and the number 1 is Demawana, and they're just ding-donging it all the way to the wire in this race, and sets up perfectly for a classy horse. Rest of the story, it's got stakes, placings in its past performances. Just gets the trip behind Demawana and Gitana, and there you see Demawana holds on for second, but they did all the dirty work in that race, both of those horses. So number 1, Demawana, which is also what I like, is turning back to 3/4 of a mile, as you saw. Finished second against the same level of opposition. Now, this is last race, going 7 furlongs. Note the daughter of Hello Broadway. You look at this horse's past performance, always runs well when breaking from a rail, and that's not the case for a lot of horses. So this horse has a victory and a couple of good performances when breaking from the whirl. Aforementioned Gitana is going back to her preferred surface after dueling for lead, and that was against that Stark Close bias that day on the Tapeta. Finished a fading 5th last time out. Rohan Crichton, who also trains Demawana, has Edgar Perez handling the 5-time winner on the dirt. So these two will be banging heads with each other. Do you get a 1-2 exacted from Rohan Crichton? Or do you go with a horse like the 5, Coach Jerry's Joys, who's making a 4-year-old debut after facing stakes caliber competition? Now, she had mixed results in that race before going to the sideline in August. Saffie Joseph Jr., he's good with this layoff. He's got the apprentice Elsa Morrison in the saddle today. And this horse, they thought a lot about this horse to try him in all that stakes competition, and it's Saffie Joseph Jr. coming back. So maybe this horse, coming off the long layoff of about 13 and a half months, can run well today. And they tried it in the game face, they tried it in the any limit, they tried her in the grade 3 forward gal. So they thought this horse had a touch of class, and coming back for Saffie Joseph Jr., always interesting. The final race today is a 6 furlongs maiden optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $40,000 this afternoon, and we have scratches of the 8-9, so we have a field of 7. And as I mentioned, I like Royal Attitude, who's a full brother to $700,000 earner Noble Drama, turning back to 3/4 of a mile today after pressing the pace and finishing 3rd. That was in its 6.5 furlong debut. So we know David Fawkes, who trained Noble Drama. Check this stat out. I wouldn't do it, but here's David Fawkes with the second-time start at Gulfstream Park Sprints over the past year. Just as over the past year, he's 5 for 9, 56%. And the return of investment is $5.40. But he's also 8 for 20, 40% over the last 2 years. So his numbers, second-time starters, just jump off the page at you. Then you got a horse who I thought was probably the one to fear in here. That's a little big. He's, he set the pace. He finished second as the favorite. He actually finished in second in front of Royal Attitude last time out for Rohan Crichton. Emissy El Jaramillo in the saddle this afternoon. And then you got the 3, Dominican Ice, who's the morning line favorite in here, a big morning line favorite at 7-5. He's in for the $40,000 tag in this maiden optional claimer, so you can you can grab this horse for the $40,000, and he's going to try and make amends after showing speed. And he faded to finish second as the favorite. That was in consecutive sprints against maiden special weight competition. He's the speed of the speed, I believe, in the nightcap, but he's not been stretching that speed to the wire. 3 consecutive races going 7. Different distance, 6, 6.5, and 6 furlongs. Seems to always finish second. I'm going to put him a little further down on my ticket. What we're going to do now is take a short break, and when I come back, we will have the lightning round, I think. Yeah, the lightning round.
Master horse racing with the power of daily racing form. DRF has helped players win at the races for 125 years. Now the information you trust is better than ever. Get exclusive late-breaking news from our reporters at tracks across the country. Position yourself to win by adding buyer speed figures and the new DRF formulator to your handicapping arsenal. Go to drf.com today. Use coupon code DRF2020 to get a free formulator card and start winning.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Just about 12 noon. We're going with our lightning round here. And as we do each and every Friday, we started off with the standings. Let's check out the jockey standings. And Miguel Vasquez has just been on a tear. 104 victories already this summer. But look at Lionel Reyes with 80. Edgar Perez right there. Emicial Jaramillo, had a couple of weeks. He had an injury. He is back. He's riding well. And Edwin Gonzalez. So this top five. I mean, Miguel's just been cruising all summer long. But Lionel Reyes riding in great form. And as I mentioned there, you see the top five. And then we will go with the trainers. And, of course, Safi is, just out there all by himself. But, boy, everybody else underneath. So, well, the trainers will pop up in a second, I guess, and we'll see how they look. And we still have the jockeys up there. So, there we go. The Safi Joseph Jr., it's 60 wins. But look underneath. Go with the other four in here fighting for second. Rohan Crichton, 29. Jose D'Angelo, 28. Jorge Delgado, 24. Victor Barboza Jr. having a great summer with 23. So Safi's the main man, but certainly, underneath it makes it for a very exciting standings here with the jockeys and trainer. If you just ignore that, Safi's got him by about 30-something, 31 wins up there. So with that said, now let's check out the best bets and long shot today. First, we'll see my best bet this afternoon, I believe, and my best bet is the number 5 Royal Attitude in the last race at 9-2. As I mentioned, I like that horse. And my Brian's best bet. Let's check out Brian's best bet today. I haven't seen. Oh, he's got. Well, there he is. Race 2, win 99 at 2-1. That is the number 6. Then we'll go with my long shot in race number 2. His first rule at 5-1. I showed you the replay of that horse. And let's see who Brian has as long shot in here. Frankie's Girl, 10-1 in race number 8. Nice long shot at 10-1. Okay, now we're going to go on Friday. We got the 2-year-old filly stretching out around 2 turns in Our Dear Girl. And let's check out a performance by Stephanie's Charm last time out. It's a pretty good performance, I think. There you see Stephanie's Charm, 11-1 spring in the upset. So these horses now stretching out to around 2 turns. A pretty nice race. So let's see how it plays out. And I guess Brian, he pulled his replay. I guess he likes Stephanie's Charm's chance. Wins for fun at 11-1. Going to stretch out around the 2 turns this afternoon. Our sister track, Santa Anita, is getting ready to open. So let's take a look. There they're going to get a 2-day handicapping contest on opening weekend. And there you see it, opening weekend challenge it's called. That's October 1st and Sunday, October 2nd. So make sure you write that down. $5,000. You got to go out to California to get that on-track bonus, but you can still play it. So lots of fun. So that's how I see the 9 races. That's how we see the lightning round. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello, and then I'll be back here for race number 1.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.